We're at the 60 years old No Games podcast, man. You know, because for some reason, these people want to cap for this game uniquely and claim that it could have had some form of potential. Like, what is wrong with you ponies, man? The game was nothing but an Overwatch clone. Like, come on, man. Oh, this is a uniquely situation we got going on here. What's unique about it? It's just joining all the other PlayStation exclusives that are all in the graveyard. You know, welcome to the family, Sony. Welcome to the family of dead PlayStation exclusives. And what's even more funny, the studio's name is Firewalk Studios. Out of the frying pan and into the fire you go. You got jokes. I mean, come on, man. Like, I mean, you ponies are down bad for even remotely defending this game.
I don't think that Haven and others have to worry about anything because this game here, it was uniquely.
Here we go.
It's in a unique position. We've seen games fail before, right? We've seen plenty of games fail before, but we've never seen anything like this, at least from a Sony first part.
And let's not forget, guys, Until Dawn Remake sold 28% worse than Concord. So you can't sit there and say we haven't seen another encounter like this. Until Dawn Remake was done in the same fashion. So if anything, that game did worse than Concord. That's funny that you don't bring that up. Oh yeah, this is probably one of the only rare occasions that we've seen this happen to any of our PlayStation exclusives. But then proceeds to forget about Until Dawn Remake, which sold 28% worse than Concord.
The studio. And again, this is that, your Sony's first foray into the live service game. They're just getting into live service. This sounds like it may give them pause about moving forward with some other live service stuff, right?
No, it's not, because Sony has another game in development. I think you guys know what it is. Like I said, man, this is where the money's at, man. And like I said, the problem with Sony is that they're having a hard time adapting to the way the gaming industry is. That's why Nintendo said, you know what, we're going to focus on low-end hardware, some form of physical media, and low-budget games, because that's something that they can do. And let's focus on the portable gaming market. To be honest with you, Nintendo left the home console market before Microsoft did. But yet you people don't say that. Nintendo will never go back to making a traditional powerful console like they've done in the past, because you know why? They failed. Nintendo was one of the first people to leave the home console market. The only reason as to why the Switch was a success, because they merged the home console and the 3DS Portable together. The portable market for Nintendo has always done well. It's been doing well since the Game Boy had no color. So of course the Nintendo Switch was a success, because all they did was merge both of the markets. But if you want to think about it, Nintendo has already single-handedly left the home console market.
In that, I think, in essence, I think all of those who didn't want Concord, all of those who, all the naysayers for Concord and last.
Man, y'all didn't want the game either. Don't sit there and pinpoint this on us. Y'all didn't want to buy the game either. Ain't nobody want to hear this, J-Dub, man. Matter of fact, I got more respect for X-Vote, because at least the dude sat there and paid for three copies. All you ponies want to do is talk about it, man. Put your money where your mouth is and go out there and support your exclusive games like you claim.
They should be happy about this. Sony cut their losses.
Sony should be happy about this. You hear this? I can't believe that you guys are really trying to spin this, man. Sony lost $400 million, had to shut down 2 studios. Let's talk about all the employees that got fired, because if this was Microsoft, y'all be sitting there saying they're going under. And now all of a sudden you acting like this is some form of a victory, J-Dub? Bro, get off the pony dust, man. Like, that PlayStation shirt that you got on and your little emblem, it might be a little too tight, bro. For real, loosen it up a little bit. Because apparently it's taking oxygen away from your brain.
Move forward and get this shit behind them. Don't worry about the studio. We're going to take some people from the studio. We're going to move them around to our other studios. And move
but when it's Microsoft, they just completely fire people, you know? Remember when they acquired Bethesda and Activision and they told you that they had overlapping positions, and you guys ran with the narrative and say, look at that, Microsoft's firing all these people. You guys turned it into a negative narrative. But when it's Sony, it's different. I can't be the only person in this gaming community that notices this. I know. Even Nintendo, even Sony dudes have come to my channel and be like, yo, man, besides the fanboys, yo, bro, you right, man. Like, they don't keep things consistent. Like, they go as far to bash Nintendo and Microsoft, but then Sony's in way far worse situations than either of those two companies.
We're not gonna waste more resources, waste more time trying to figure this shit out. Let's just move forward with other shit.
Okay.
I kind of like that. Don't drag this shit on. And I'm kind of
Oh no, we're gonna drag this as long as the PS5 is still here, bro. You know, guys, keep dragging it. Keep letting them know. Just like they were letting us know how bad Redfall is, right? Now they want to sit there and act like we're supposed to forget. And what's even more funny, Until Dawn Remake did worse than Concord. So for you to say that it's a rare occasion, who is this dude, J-Dub, bro? This dude's got to be the most delusional fanboy that I've ever heard in this community, man.
Don't drag this shit. If people didn't get it when it was $30, people not gonna fucking play it when it's free to play. It's just it is what it is. Move on. You
can't say that. To be honest with you, I think more people would play the game if it was free to play. Because you know why? Because it's free to play. I think people would have tried the game out, and then more than likely they could have updated, no different than how they're doing Overwatch. I'm sorry. Sony didn't give people an opportunity to want to sit there and enjoy the game. And I still don't think it would have been more successful than Overwatch, but it could have been a nice alternative. But Sony would rather shut the game down so it doesn't benefit any of the games. You guys say that Microsoft don't benefit the gamers, but Redfall and Bleeding Edge still got their servers up, regardless of how they failed. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. It's just another cog in the piece of machinery that Microsoft has. So there's no reason to shut the games down, even if people don't play them. You can get a community post, and there you go. You can go back to playing the game if you want to. See, that's how Xbox dudes get down. You know, but you PlayStation fanboys, man, y'all give up on everything.
Plenty other studios, plenty other projects to fund. Move on. I think as gamers...
And what projects is that?
Looking at this a lot of times, because I know some people out there crying or whatever. But those same people that were saying, oh, the game was trash, Sony should have did this, Sony should have did that, they should have invested in this and this. Now that Sony say, all right, we ain't going to spend no more money dealing with this shit. Now they're like, oh my God, Sony should have did this. It's like, there's no winning, right, in the console fanboy spectrum, right? We're all quarterbacking this shit from our chairs. You know, it's like any sports team. Cut all of the people that are crying over this shit and upset.
It clearly ain't Xbox and Nintendo fans or PC gamers. It got to be all ponies. So when you sit there and say people are crying about it, who are the ones crying about it? It's got to be PlayStation fanboys.
Let's stop the bullshit.
Oh, now they want to stop it. You hear that, guys? They want equality. Now he want to stop the console war, guys, because Sony's not in a good position right now, you know. But when it was Redfall and Bleeding Edge and all these other Xbox failures, you people was laughing off. I mean, you guys are still laughing about stuff since the Xbox One. But now Ponies was like, come on, guys, stop it. We can't handle this negativity. We can't handle this level of constructive criticism. Let's stop it. Let's move on. Now you want to sing Kumbaya? Bruh, you going to be hearing this ever since the PlayStation 6 come out, bro. I don't even care no more.
Just go back nearly months, right? Nearly like
they're going to put that in a Guinness World Record, bruh. Watch. Worst game in the world, man. Even worse than E.T., bro. How do you make a game worse than E.T.?
Months ago. We was on the same podcast, right? And we saw the you know, all these people out there wanting this game to fail, laughing, yada yada.
Oh, really? Just like you guys been hoping every Xbox game fails, and for some reason they're more successful than what you're doing. It is what it is, man. And I don't care how many hardware sales you people want to bring up. What Microsoft is doing is way more beneficial to gaming than what Sony's doing, bar none. New games. New established franchises, new IPs, bro. Those are new projects. What Sony's doing is just milking you fanboys, man. That's why you guys are dependent on these new Xbox games to hope to come to your platform so you guys can have something to play.
The game was doomed from the beginning, and it's fine. I'm perfectly A-okay with it.
Yeah, right.
I think more companies need to do this where...
Oh, really? Because apparently Microsoft does this every day, and you guys have an issue with it.
You have a failure of a game? Cut your losses. Don't drag this fucking shit on and just keep...
You know he's mad when he's always swearing. Like, you hear this dude, he's swearing all the time.
Dragging this funk and this stench around everywhere you go, trying to salvage the shit. I didn't say the same thing about Halo.
I mean, it's not even about... Hold on. Hold on. What? Did this man just compare Concord to Halo? Bro, are you serious? One franchise exists. One franchise is going to be getting an Unreal Engine 5 updated game. And you out here comparing Con Flop to that? To a game that's been going on for over 20 years? You hear this, fool? You comparing Halo to Concord, man.
I think they need to reimagine this shit and just like stop like.
Let me ask you this.
But Halo is still here.
Some things you just need to move on.
Let me ask you this. So
Microsoft should move on from Halo, even though there's still a very big audience that plays it. Like, you don't even make sense, man. And I just think what it comes down to, that they're mad that Microsoft and Nintendo, to some degree, respect a lot of their iconic franchises, while Sony don't. Sony uses their iconic franchises, they milk them dry, and then when they feel like they can't make any more money off them, they move on to something else. Which is the reason as to why a lot of old school PlayStation fans like myself, we kind of be like, yo, Sony, this is kind of hurtful. You know, you're moving on from the games that we grew up on. You feel me? But then you got Microsoft and Nintendo still work for, you know, like I said, to some degree, Nintendo does it too much. Not going to sit there in front, but at least they're trying to focus on that core audience. You feel me? With Pokemon and the Marios, and hey, people buying it, they must, in Nintendo's eyes, they feel like people like it. I would rather prefer to have that than what Sony's doing by completely ending a lot of these franchises.
I agree, move on from Concord. But do you think they should have shut down Firewalk? And I'm gonna play fair. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. You know I don't give a shit about the multiplayer, right? So them going away, whatever. But to be fair, Firewalk still has people who are competent in the gameplay, the technical, all the technicals talent.
And
they know. They just made a bad. They just made a bad game. Yeah. Wouldn't it have been better keep the studio, create a new product? Don't do this bullshit stuff. No. Start with a completely new idea.
No. I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna take years, right? How long does it take to make a game? It's gonna take a minimum of 3. And that's if you're fucking Kojima.
But that's not true, because Sony could have had them work on smaller projects, you know, more like AA titles, and maybe not work on AAAs. Like, Jada, what are you talking about, bro? Like, you was out here capping. Like, I mean, Puerto right now is starting to make some sense. Because what you're saying is like, oh, did they have to completely shut the studio down, though? I mean, yeah, they made a financial flop. But see, this is the difference between Microsoft and Sony. Microsoft can afford those flops. Sony can't. Microsoft has $2 to $3 trillion. They can afford to have, okay, 400 million loss. We'll just make that off Game Pass Ultimate. It don't even matter. You see? And this is why I'm trying to tell you that Microsoft's philosophy in gaming is working for them, regardless of how many hardware sales they have. You get what I mean? It's because of how many entities they're connected with. PC, mobile, Amazon Fire Stick TVs, even Sony now at this point, right? So they're making their money regardless. And you people don't want to see that. So Microsoft can take the chances in the gambles because they could just make the money back through Game Pass Ultimate. That's what people have been trying to tell you. But when you put all your eggs in one basket, you put that 400 million right there, and your whole purpose is to just solely sell the game, then you're going to need the people to buy it. Now, with a game like Redfall, okay, people might have subscribed to Game Pass Ultimate to play it, whatever, 18, 17, whatever, $20 a month. Okay, the game flopped. Okay. You're like, oh, they didn't lose their money. How they lose their money? They still made the money that they needed for the month. Now they can move past that. They can say, all right, let's focus on something else. We'll just leave it as a cog in the wheel of machinery, and that's it. And we'll just focus on something that might potentially work. They still get the money because then people are still looking forward to playing the next game that they got coming to the Game Pass Ultimate service. See, this is what you people are not understanding. The philosophy of buying games doesn't work anymore. The only company that it's been working for is Nintendo, and the reason why that is because the budgets of those games are low. That's a huge thing. I mean, they still sell like crazy anyway. Like, Nintendo's the only company that I know that makes and I've said it before, you guys have known, AA games and make AAA money. You know what I mean? They're the only company that's doing that. Even Microsoft and Sony ain't doing that. They're not making AA's that are selling over 70 million.
With an engine that's given to you and the red carpet rail, now they're gonna have to foot the bill for all these people insurance, for all of their salaries, for the rent, for everything else, for another 5 years in hopes that they can make a game that's worth a damn. No.
Well, that also shows you that's a huge fundamental problem with the gaming industry. And this is why companies would work better with Microsoft, because Microsoft don't have to do all this. Microsoft can make their money regardless. Microsoft could have kept them around. And before you people say, that's not true, they shut down Tango. It's not that they shut them down. They reworked it within the company. Microsoft has stated that. They shut down, yes, they did shut down Tango, but they reworked it. And let's not forget, Shinji don't work with the company no more. So of course they're going to rework things. He's not there. The main director that used to be there, Tango, is not there no more. Why would you keep the studio around? You will take the talented employees and rework them within your other companies. That's exactly what Microsoft did. And y'all ran with the narrative, oh, they out here firing everybody. You know, that's what y'all did. But then Sony does the same thing, which is a legitimate fire because Sony ain't getting none of these people back. Sony's not going to have these people make another game because of what they did. I can only hope the day Naughty Dog makes a flop and stuff, and then look what it. Sony's like, oh, we got to let you go. We got to let you go, Naughty Dog, because you made one flop and you cost us $1 billion. You got to go. You got to go. That's all Sony's doing, man. How could you run a business with a company that essentially, if you make one mistake, you're out of here? That's what's going on.
The loss, take the good people that you need from there, stick them in the other studios to fill in, work where they need to, and move on.
But how are you gonna this shit out? Yeah, but how are you gonna build your multiplayer studios if you're getting rid of the people who's supposed to make your multiplayer games? Because for example, I'm gonna tell you something. Give you an example for Guerrilla. Killzone was a flop.
It was.
Yes.
So imagine if they would have got shut down after Killzone 1. You wouldn't have.
You would even had Killzone 2, 3, or Shadowfall. Like I said, you got to take chances. And those games all still flop, mind you. But like I said, we was all blessed to play these games. But like I said, this is another thing too with flops, is that a lot of you people, you know, you gravitate towards them and think that, oh, they can't fix it with a successor. That's another thing too. We live in the gaming community where if it flops one time, it's all said and done. You know, we don't live in the days where it's like, oh, that game has potential. They make a sequel, like Killzone 2, for example. I mean, look at that. That game was perfect when it came out. You know what I mean? Just imagine if Sony's like, all right, one flop and you're out. We would have been blessed with Killzone 2 and 3. I don't really care for Shadowfall, but for those games in particular, or even Killzone Liberation. So I agree with what Puerto Rock is saying. It's so funny that you guys think I'm against these people, but then I can sit there and tell you that I agree with them. Like, come on, man. I ain't no Xbox fanboy, bro. I play on everything, bro. Y'all know this. Stop capping.
And have Horizon. It will be done.
Which is a real possibility. But Killzone didn't flop to the extent that this game did, Puerto Rock. It's a difference. It's a difference than it being.
I mean, yes, but Killzone 1 did flop. Killzone 1, they did not make no money.
Other Sony
but the point still stands, though, regardless of how bad. And also, too, we're also comparing an era where games weren't as expensive as they are now. That's another thing J-Dub is not mentioning. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We live in a community where it's dangerous to make games. And this is what people have been trying to tell you. And you guys have faith in PlayStation 6, 7, 8, and 9? Sony can't even afford to lose money on PS5 hardware. What makes you think they're going to afford to lose money when they got a PlayStation 8 and they got to put $1 billion on a game? No wonder they focus on remasters and remakes, because it doesn't cost them money. And this is a problem. And I told you guys, Microsoft is the only company that could do AAA gambles. Because that's what I'm going to call them now. AAA gambles. Sony don't have that type of money. It's already bad. That is exactly the problem. Sony cannot afford to do AAA. Even Nintendo's not ready for it. They don't even have the money. I think they can get away with it for a little bit, like PS4 specs, but they can't get away with it either. This is why they're stalling the inevitable. For all the people say, oh, Nintendo, you using low-end hardware. All the people that laughed at them, Nintendo said, we see the writing on the wall. We're going to take our sweet time. And look how successful Nintendo is for that. Right? You see? Now, with Microsoft, they can afford, because they have the budgets and the money to take a gamble on a Call of Duty or whatever the case may be, right? Sony don't have the money. You guys, Sony's already complaining that Marvel Spider-Man 2 breaking even. You understand, when you have more powerful hardware, the budgets of these games are going to go up. Then you have to ask yourself, I want PlayStation 7 looking graphics, but how are they going to be able to give that to you while also trying to maintain a $200 million budget? Those games would have to skyrocket to 800 mil, close to $1 billion. Rockstar can get away with it because Rockstar, they know they're going to make their money back. The game already sold out before the game even came out. Because as soon as people have the option to pre-order it, they getting it. Y'all know this. This is the problem with gaming. It's like you're dealing with too much competition, and then on top of that, these casuals don't want to play it. Microsoft has set it up in a way where the hardcore can have their games. The casuals, if they do decide to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate, they can play these games at a great value and also introduce them to gaming. Nobody wants to buy $60, $70 games no more, man. You people know it, especially not these casuals, especially these casuals that grew up on free-to-plays. Y'all know this, man.
Right, first party flop. I don't know. I can't think of another, but just throw another one out there, right? Any of the first party flops, right? Sony really don't make first party flops like that.
J-Dub, really? Sony don't make first party flops? Sony don't. Are you hearing this dude right now? All right. Jersey Devil, Jumping Flash, Blasto. Let's go through the list, guys. Was it Legend of Legaia, Legend of Dragoon, Tamba, 1 and 2, Sly Cooper. What do you do? Extermination. Sony don't make first party flops. Genji for the PS3. Heavenly Sword did not sell that well. Folklore, Warhawk, Starhawk, Motorstorm. That's why these games don't exist. Their NBA license did not do well. Siren Blood Curse did not sell. I love that game, mind you. Did not sell well. So when you sit there and say PlayStation don't make, what do you mean they don't make flops? Killzone flopped, Resistance flopped, Mag flopped, SOCOM Confrontation and SOCOM 4 flopped, PlayStation All-Stars Royale flopped. Like I said, there's a lot of flops, bro. So when you say that PlayStation don't make first-party flops, bro, I just told you they made a lot of them. PlayStation Move was a flop too. That's why they kept trying to reintroduce it with the PS4. Hey, take your PS3 Move sticks and use them with your VR. That was their way of introducing that. Again, Sony's been flopping since the very beginning.
Well, the third parties maybe, but their first party.
What do you mean? The third party is the reason as to why Sony's success. J-Dub, you're losing it, bro. J-Dub, you are losing it right now. Did you just say that the third party is the only thing that's flopping? Hold on, let's rewind that, bro. I'm getting tired of this. Did you just say that?
But just throw another one out there, right? Any of the first party flops, right? Sony really don't make first party flops like that. The third parties maybe, but
third party flops. Third party is the reason as to why Sony exists. Third party is the reason why people talk about Final Fantasy. Well, I mean, it was on Nintendo, but I'm saying popularize these third party games. Tenchu, Bushido Blade, Konami, Castlevania. That's what we love the PS1 and 2 for. I'm sorry, yeah, Sony did make a few gems on there. I'm not saying they weren't good. I like Blasto. I like even the game 1. But I'm saying that was a Square Namco machine. You look at the PS1 and 2, you will look at all the games that you like were all Capcom third-party Square games. Ain't none of them were real exclusives. Y'all know this. They were just exclusives at the time. So for you to sit there and say, oh, Sony don't make first-party flops, it's really third-party. Third-party's been saving y'all since the PlayStation 1. What are you talking about? Even the Sega Saturn had more exclusives than y'all. Because a lot of those games was made in-house by Sega. Like, come on, man. It's been official, man. Sega was right about you. Sony, when the PlayStation 1 was coming out, Sony don't know how to make games. And what's even more funny, y'all want to sit there and act like Sony didn't make games for the competition, and they did. Y'all like, what? Which games? Cliffhanger? Y'all don't remember that? Hook? These games was all made by Sony. You know that, right? And they were all made for the Sega CD. So for you guys to say that Sony was never multi-plat, you're sitting there lying to yourself.
Their first party, no.
Let's go.
Dreams is still actually active, right? And it's still going, so we don't even know.
What about Little Big Planet?
It wasn't even a fucking game, right?
Yeah, Little Big Planet. Yep, add that to the list.
But I'm just saying, Sony really don't do flops like that.
Bro, what are you talking about? Sony don't do flops? You hear this, dude?
This is why it was huge. Because it was so unlike Sony. And this
man is capping, bro. I never mind. Like, bro, Sony is here because of third party. If it wasn't for third party, people wouldn't care, bro. People that pick up PS5, at least, I mean, people can say Xbox don't have that many hardware, but there's a lot of Xbox dudes that pick up Xbox for Gears and Halo and Forza. Y'all know that. Stop capping. There's a lot of those dudes that pick up Xbox for those specific titles. Y'all know that, especially with those 3 that I mentioned. You know, over there on PC. I don't care if they're on PC. They're on that console only as of right now. So, and people pick up the Xbox for that. because they got a die-hard core audience. Nintendo, same thing, die-hard core audience. PlayStation 5 fanboys, y'all picking it up for Fortnite and third party, but the worst kind. Y'all not even picking up for Rebirth no more. Y'all not even picking up for the games that Sony's doing deals with. You're picking them up for Fortnite. Grand Theft Auto 6 is why people got a PS5. NBA 2K.
MAG was not Sony's first party.
It was.
Yes, it was. Oh,
guys.
No, that's there. Yeah.
It was made by what's the?
No, Zipper.
It was made by Zipper. What are you, bro? Oh my bro, I'm about to take my glasses and throw them. What is you talking about, bruh? MAG was made by Zipper Interactive, bro. What do you, I'm vastly confused right now, bro. Like, how you gonna have a PlayStation shirt in your profile picture and don't even know one of your own exclusives, bro?
Zipper.
Yes.
Yeah. Zipper.
I thought they did.
They did SOCOM. No, but they didn't do SOCOM confrontation.
That was Slant 6.
Okay.
A lot of people thought they were doing the SOCOM. They said
they did it with SOCOM 4, and that did worse than the Slant 6 version.
Remember, everything was like in the chat rooms. It was something like
How
that.
can you call yourself a PlayStation fanboy and you don't even know that, man? I'm happy that Puerto Rock corrected this deranged fanboy.
Yeah. They were like, Zipper's doing SOCOM. They're like, we're doing SOCOM? And the question mark, being facetious, is because they already moved on to a new project, which is MAG.
And let's not also forget that they also did Unit 13 for the PS. Bro, I know all the history, bro. See, this is what you people don't understand. And I actually like the Unit 13. Another flop. Oh my God. Every time I think about it, it's all flops. Even regardless of how I like the games, guys, they all flopped. Nobody cared for them. Nobody wanted to buy the PlayStation Vita for these games. It is what it is, man. Gravity Rush, another flop.
MAG was a former Sony first party.
Yeah.
The thing what I'm saying is this.
Okay.
So, creativity-wise, Firewalk failed. But from a technical perspective...
Now, let's skip some of this because there's a lot of fluff here, guys.
But like, it's automatically flops, we're shutting you down. If you keep shutting down studios, you're not going to get good on multiplayer because you're getting rid of everybody.
And you're getting less games to play, man. And like I said, just, I'll probably make another video if y'all want to. Just tell me in the comment section. But because there's a lot to unfold in this. But yeah, how do you not know that, J-Dub? You got a PlayStation shirt on and you don't even know that, man. Really? That was a PlayStation first party game, MAG. I actually liked the game, personally, even though it was a little, janky at times, but I thought it was cool. Because I did buy the PS3 for Sony's games. But the problem is, I know people that didn't. All the friends that I used to know, they all shifted towards Call of Duty when that game was bumping on PlayStation. I know, bro, PlayStation has built their platform off third party. And what's even funny, back then it didn't really impact them during the PS1 and 2, but it's starting to impact them now. So when you guys kept laughing at Nintendo GameCube, look at you, Nintendo, you're not making hardware like us, you're not making money like us. That it really bit you in your behind because Nintendo was focusing on their games. They didn't just sit there and say, we're going to get rid of Mario. We're going to get rid of Pokemon. We're going to get rid of all these games because they're not selling well on the Wii and the GameCube. They still had faith in their respective franchise and they still stayed strong with their respective franchises while Sony says, okay, the gig is up. Jax is another game. Jak and Daxter. These games ain't making the money like they used to. Let's move on to the next trendy game and see if we can get them there. Sony, I'm telling you, you guys say that Sony's good for gamers, but all I've noticed is that Sony has left a trail of dead IPs and franchises behind them because they want to just move on to the greatest and best next thing, which is good. But also, too, to do this to your franchises, do this to the games that people bought your platform for is the reason why I don't like the PS5. It is what it is, man. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, if you want a part 2, just say it in the comment section, and I'll more likely get you. I'll get you guys another one. Take care.